woman, we knew something was horribly wrong.
We need to end this now!
He tried to close the seance, but the Ouija board wouldn't cooperate. The planchette moved on its own, spelling out no over and over. Suddenly, Jimmy was thrown across the room, his body slamming into the wall with a sickening thud. He groaned, struggling to stand. As we ran for the door, the basement door slammed shut. An invisible force yanked at my hair, pulling me all the way down the stairs back into the basement. I screamed, clawing at the air, but there was nothing to fight against. Jimmy and Sarah grabbed me, pulling me back, but the force was relentless. My scalp burned as clumps of hair were ripped out. Suddenly, Sarah's arm was twisted at an unnatural angle, bones cracking under the pressure of an unseen grip. She cried out in pain, tears streaming down her face. We watched in horror as dark bruises formed on her skin. "We need to get out of here!" We scrambled towards the basement door again, but it wouldn't budge. The candles reignited on their own, their flames turning blue. Slowly, we saw 4 to 5 shadows walking across and slowly merging into a dark, humanoid figure, its eyes glowing white. It lunged at us, passing through Jimmy's body. He convulsed, his eyes rolling back as the spirit seemed to possess him. "You cannot escape." His voice was a horrible blend of his and the spirit's, deep and distorted. He grabbed Sarah by the throat, lifting her off the ground. I tackled him, breaking his grip, but the spirit was still inside him, fighting back with inhuman strength. In the chaos, Sarah found a discarded crucifix among the occult items. She held it up, chanting a prayer through sobs. Strangely, it worked. The spirit recoiled, and Jimmy collapsed, the dark figure coming out and dissipating into the air. The 3 of us rushed to the door again, and this time it opened. We managed to drag Jimmy to his dad's car, tying him to the seat with the seatbelt. Something told us that it wasn't safe to be in the house. Jimmy was still thrashing and screaming, the spirit's influence still lingering, but he finally calmed down after some time. Exhausted and terrified, we slumped in the car. None of us even knew how to drive, and we didn't think any neighbors would believe us, so we just kept to ourselves. The 3 of us got some sleep till Jimmy's dad knocked on the window to wake us up early next morning. We got out and dropped some excuse, but Sarah glanced at the back seat and froze. The can of Pringles from our ceremony was lying there. I'd been into the industry as a model for about 2 years and didn't really have many friends. I had few work friends, or the ones I would meet on shoots after months. Since I'm an introvert, I find it especially hard. So when Josephine invited me for a road trip with her modeling friends, I said yes. Josephine was one of the hottest things in the industry. Affairs with a late-night show host, hooking up with millionaires, posh brands. She had it all. Of course, I wanted to be friends with her. She picked me along with her friend Melanie and Claire, and we left for a road trip to Joshua Tree to escape the mundane and indulge in magic mushrooms. We only stopped once to fill gas. I bought a can of Pringles and some beer before we were on our way. After only about an hour of reaching Joshua Tree, we started tripping. Beyond the initial euphoria, the world around me suddenly morphed into a kaleidoscope of vibrant colors and shapes. Everything was magical. My hands were suddenly fluffier. Melanie's voice suddenly started sounding like that of a man, and Josephine's eyes went red, while she started swinging her body like a pendulum while standing. It was fun, until the munchies hit us like a freight train. Josephine rummaged through our supplies only to discover that our snacks were missing. We looked as well, but all that I could see were vibrant red skies and waves in the distance, which were getting bigger. Panic set in as we realized that the only thing left was a single can of Pringles in the car. It wasn't enough.
Josephine? Where did you put the snacks?
Josephine's eyes widened, her pupils dilated. She stared at me blankly, and I could see her grip on reality slipping.
I thought you had them, Adele.
A wave of annoyance surged through me. My voice took on an accusatory edge.
You were in charge of the snacks.
The tension in the air thickened. Melanie and Claire sat quietly, their eyes darting between Josephine and me, sensing the brewing storm. Josephine's face twisted in a mix of hallucinations and anger. The drugs had heightened all of our emotions, and I could see Josephine's mental stability teetering on the edge.
Don't blame this on me. Like you're always so perfect. Adele, so damn perfect. What are you even talking about? They're picking you for the Gucci campaign, bitch. Tony thinks I lost the X Factor. Can you imagine? Dropping me, a literal legend, for you. Bitch, you can't even model.
Before I could react, she suddenly lunged at me. She snatched the can of Pringles, her eyes wild, and started bashing it against my head. I fell to the ground, dazed.
Get off me, you lunatic!
The desert spun around me, my vision blurring. I could hear Melanie and Claire shouting, but their voices seemed distant, like echoes in a canyon. Josephine continued her assault, her hands clawing at my face. I felt her nails dig into my skin, ripping and tearing. Blood ran down my cheeks, mixing with my tears.
Stop! Josephine, please!
But she was lost in her own world, her actions fueled by a dangerous mix of drugs and latent rage. As I struggled, the world shifted. My hallucinations morphed Josephine's face into that of a Pringles mascot, a twisted caricature grinning down at me with malevolent glee.
No, this isn't real.
But the pain was real. The terror was real. I fought back, trying to push her off, but she was relentless. She grabbed a rock, raising it high above her head. I closed my eyes, bracing for the impact. In a surge of adrenaline, Melanie and Claire managed to pull her off me. I gasped for air, my body trembling. They dragged her to the car, shoving her inside. Josephine screamed and thrashed, but they managed to tie her to the seatbelt, securing her in place.
Adele? Are you okay?
I nodded weakly, my head throbbing, my vision still hazy. Blood dripped from the wounds on my face.
We need to wait until she calms down.
We sat in silence, the only sound Josephine's ragged breathing and the distant call of coyotes. Slowly, the effects of the drugs began to wear off. Josephine slumped in the seat.
The mushrooms must have triggered something in her. We need to get help.
The desert, which had seemed so enchanting hours before, now felt ominous and foreboding. I knew that I had to see a doctor soon, praying that Josephine's attack wouldn't leave scarring on my face. That is when my eyes fell on the seat next to Josephine. There, partially hidden under a blanket, was the bag of snacks we had been searching for. A tear escaped my eye as I got in the car and we left.